Welcome to another Pastor's Chat. One of the hardest things that I felt like as a teenager I had to deal with was the hypocrites in the church. My dad was a pastor, and so as a kid growing up, I was looking firsthand at the people who were supposed to be spiritual, the deacons, the Sunday school teachers, the leaders, and actually I think I was looking for an excuse to do my own thing and to live my own life, but I used the hypocrites as an excuse. Matter of fact, when we come to Romans chapter 2, that's what the Apostle Paul is going to deal with right in chapter 2. Chapter 1, he's dealing with the heathen, those who totally have turned their back on God. They have pushed God out of their minds, out of their lives. They worship the creature rather than the creator. They worship the creation rather than the God who made the creation. And God talks about what's going to happen in Romans chapter 1 to those who forget God. It says God gave them up. God gave them up to do their own thing, to go their own way, and pay the just judgment for that. Well, what happens when we come to chapter 2 is this. Sometimes there are people like me, like others like me, who now, because we are trying to live good, holy, righteous lives, because we have found Jesus, we set in judgment of the people around us. We judge others. And then we ourselves, if we're not careful, become hypocrites. And I remember as a teenager just really being hard on the hypocrites. And the truth is, I was a hypocrite when I look back on it. Of course, I didn't see it then. Someone said that Mahatma Gandhi said that he would have become a Christian as he was searching for truth until he met some. One of the biggest obstacles to keep other people that are in the world that do not know Jesus Christ from becoming a Christian is oftentimes those hypocrites in the church who claim to be Christians but don't live like it. You see, we judge according to outward appearance, but God always judges the heart. He sees what's inside the heart. And so here in chapter 2, Paul begins, "Therefore you have no excuse, O man, every one of you who judges. For in passing judgment on another, you condemn yourself, because you, the judge, practice the very same things. We know that the judgment of God rightly falls on those who practice such things. Do you suppose, O man, you who judge those who practice such things and yet do them yourselves, that you will escape the judgment of God?" So that's how chapter 2 starts. So chapter 1, he's dealing with the heathen, but chapter 2, he's dealing with the hypocrites. Remember in Matthew chapter 23, Jesus addressed the "Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites." 5 times he makes that statement. The Bible's pretty hard on hypocrites. Matter of fact, in the book of Revelation, the church of Laodicea, the last church, he says, "You think you're rich and increased with goods. Don't you know you're wretched and poor and miserable and blind and naked?" And then basically what he says, "I would that you were cold or hot." I would rather that you don't even claim to be a Christian than to be a lukewarm Christian. In other words, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, living a hypocritical life so that others don't really see the reality of Jesus Christ in your lives. And so he's going to really step on some of our toes today. The best of us sometimes look at chapter 1 and we would say, "Oh yeah, those bad, wicked, evil people, they deserve what they're getting." And yet at the same time, we have sins in our lives that we are not dealing with. And that's what chapter 2 is about. So therefore you are without excuse when you judge another. And we look at the world around us, we condemn them, and we really have no right to do that. Only God has the right to condemn, because He only is the one that knows the hearts. So I hope that God will speak to my heart. He'll speak to your heart as we look here in chapter 2, and we'll let God be the judge. And let's be a person who, by the grace of God, with the love of God, makes sure the world around us knows the reality of Jesus Christ even in our lives. Well, God bless you. I hope you'll study chapter 2 and begin looking at it and let God speak to your heart. Have a great day.